Lord.
My name is Natasha Laban, and I am coming from the Center for Infectious Disease Research in Zambia. My background is in biological sciences with a major in molecular biology and genetics.
My name is Michelo Simuyandi. I'm coming from Zambia. Work together with Natasha at the Center for Infectious Disease Research. My background training is in molecular and cell biology with a PhD in infectious disease control from the London School of Hygiene.
Currently, our research as part of the CIDRZ enteric disease and vaccines research group is mainly focused on the control of diarrheal disease in Zambia, particularly among children under the age of 5. And so our research spans quite a number of topics that involve surveillance for enteric pathogens, as well as analyzing or assessing immune responses to enteric vaccines. Particularly, my current work involves identification of some of the genetic factors that might be responsible for poor vaccine response in children.
My primary research focus, and I'll begin with, say, the vision for our group, but also then zero in on what currently excites me. I think the vision for our group, which is the Enteric Disease and Vaccine Research Unit, is really to be the center for vaccine development in enterics in Africa. And to do that, we are doing several studies, doing vaccine trials, and then within there nesting key research questions and understanding primarily, like Natasha says, factors that would affect vaccine response. And the hope is that we can generate locally relevant data that can then inform the next generation of vaccines. So it's exciting that we are, as a group, working on these problems and we actually are seated in the endemic areas, and we think that's unique opportunity for us.
My background is in biological sciences, and I also did a master's in control of infectious diseases, also from the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine. And from the work that is being done at CIDRZ, I grew interested in beginning to further detail the immune responses to current enteric vaccines, one of which is vaccines against rotavirus. So my interest in coming to Oxford University through the AfOx, Africa Oxford initiative, was to be able to meet with researchers who are experienced and are doing a lot of work at the Jenner Institute in studying vaccine responses, as well as very much involved in vaccine development. In particular, I would like to pursue a doctorate degree, and that was one of the key reasons for this trip to Oxford. I have had the great opportunity of meeting team members from the Adrian Hill group, as well as Professor Carl McLennan's group at the Jenner Institute. And my PhD work will focus on trying to characterize the immune responses to rotavirus vaccines, which hasn't really been done in Zambia and also as sub-Saharan Africa as a whole. And this information will be important in that it will be able we will be able to understand the poor responses of these vaccines in our setting.
What brings me to Oxford this time is the exciting opportunity through the initiative of Africa-Oxford collaboration by Kevin Marsh. Actually, the interesting thing is that I attended the vaccinology course early this year, which was run by Professor Adrian Hill in Uganda, and I hinted to him that I would be interested in seeing whether there would be opportunities for collaborations focusing on the enteric sides of the vaccine work that the Jenner Institute is doing. And so he introduced me to Carl McLennan and the work that Carl is doing. And then coincidentally, Kevin Marsh, who also sits, who is a board member of our organization, at the same time advertised to us this AfOx travel grant, and so put us in touch with Kauman and Adrian, and then I would like to say one thing led to the other, and this is how we are here. But I think what is interesting now is that from the visit there are a lot of possibilities now that have opened up for us in terms of not only now focusing on one or two specific pathogens, but expanding the whole portfolio for the different pathogens and vaccines that are being developed for enteric diseases. My Oxford experience has been fun-filled and mixed with, I would say, intrigue as well. I think from, like I said, from the intellectual side of things, I'm very happy that my horizon has kind of broadened in terms of certain things that I thought may not be possible due to the limitations that I have from my setting are now clear, and I can see possibilities in that. So that's exciting. And the other thing on the social side of things, I think just taking time out. Fortunately, our trip has booked us into two nice colleges, I think Christchurch and Cable College, and it's been nice seeing these grandiose historical sites. So that has been very exciting, and just the fact that everything for me is almost like walkable distance. So that has been fun, and I think people around here, I don't know because everyone is on summer break, but most of those that I've met on the street seem like very friendly people, and it's a nice mixture of people. So that's, yeah, it's been fun. What I would just like to add and say is that I think for our colleagues in Africa, for example, and those of us coming from limited resource countries, I think we need to take advantage of the AfOx initiative, because it will open a lot of possibilities for us to be able to not only engage and collaborate with researchers in developed countries like here in Oxford, but also help us build our own capacity to be able to generate very good relevant and policy data that should help resolve and answer some of our problems on the continent.
I think for me, the mere fact that I've been in Oxford and also visited Oxford University, the Oxford University has been the most exciting thing to happen to me this year so far. And but more specifically, I think having had the chance, like Michelo said, to visit the Jenner Institute, and a place where the state-of-the-art research on vaccines has been really eye-opening for me, and I have been able to learn a lot of things. Of course, facilitated through the AfOx initiative, and it has enabled me to start thinking of other research that CIDRZ, which, like the Jenner Institute and other research departments, is focused on improving health of people worldwide. And for us as CIDRZ, I think being able to foster collaborations with the researchers from Jenner Institute will help broaden our research profile as an organization, but also it provides a chance for CIDRZ to share the research that we're also doing on the ground, research that is relevant to the people back home, to Oxford University. In terms of fun-filled times outside of work, I think one of the exciting things has been the visit to the Oxford Castle, and just going around Oxford, which has a lot of rich history, and learning about that, about things like imprisonment of 7-year-olds, which was quite interesting, weirdly interesting. And I think overall, what I would like to say is through things like the AfOx initiative and other organizations that aim to have young researchers such as myself and Michelo expand our research horizons, I think are very important. And as young researchers, young African researchers ourselves, I think it is important for us to develop an interest in doing research, in thinking of ideas that would benefit our community, and working towards achieving disease control in our own countries.